guys. Good morning. Hope your morning's going well so far. 8:30 on a Saturday morning. Hopefully, maybe some of you are still in bed. That'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it? That's not the case around here in the old Skelton house. We have these. We have a small infestation called children. Yeah. So. Nope, we're here. We're on. Things are going well. We got a pretty busy day scheduled. So after this, I'll be joining our district advisory council, or not district advisory council. First one is the NMI district council meeting this morning, and we've got some business to take care of as we move forward in the new church year. And then my parents should be coming over at some point today. Mom's on her way home from Illinois. My sister had a surgery this past week, and everything went well. She's home recovering and doing just fine. And my mom was up there for that, but she's on her way back home, and then she'll be joining us, and Dad will come up from Avon Park to be here. And we're going to celebrate my dad's birthday. So we've got that going on, and then, making final preparations for Sunday. And I just want to remind you, we are not meeting at the church this Sunday morning. Hey, buddy. We are not meeting at the church. We're going to follow the CDC guidelines and recommendations, and for 2 weeks, stay home. I will be at the church, and I'll be live streaming from the church because I want you still to see the building and see the place. I think it adds a little bit. Visual is always important. But we are not meeting there, so don't come. That sounds kind of bad, but we want to make sure that we're following rules and regulations and guidelines. And then later tonight, I have a district advisory council meeting with leaders from our district, and to talk about moving forward and things, what's going to be taking place, what's going to be happening. So because this is all craziness, but it's okay. It's okay. This morning at our 8:30 time, we have our coffee time. So I've got my coffee here in the best mug in the world, as you can see. And then I like to start with a joke, because humor is a good thing. So here's our joke for today, and it's really a question and answer. And so I'm going to ask a question, I'm going to answer it for you, because that's what I like to do. And so, good morning, Kurt. Hope things are going well. So here's the question. It says, what's the difference between ignorance and apathy? And the answer is, I don't know and I don't care. Those stupid jokes crack me up and make me laugh. But the other purpose of doing things like this is I just want to get you started kind of on the right foot for the right day, and bring you some hope and some joy, and we as Christians, as believers, need to be spreading that as often as we can. So find ways to share the good news, and that doesn't have to be right out of Scripture, but that can be a story about good news that's happened to you. So I want to give you just a quick devotional. Yesterday, I took a little bit of time and just to kind of zone out for a little bit, and turned on one of the movies of the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, I believe it was, and watched part of that just for a little bit, just to kind of zone out, get away, and shut down for a little bit. But it got me thinking, especially about this morning. And the whole story of the Lord of the Rings, J.R.R. Tolkien's really masterpiece, is there's this young hobbit. His name's Frodo, and most of you probably know the story. But he's been given the burden of bearing the One Ring, the Ring of Power, and it has the potential, to put all of Middle Earth under this great terror and shadow and darkness that's been spreading. And if you've read the books or watched the movies, if you've only watched the movies, I encourage you to go back and read the books because they're so much better. But his task is to take this One Ring and to throw it back into the volcano where it was forged, where it was formed, And this journey is this crazy long journey. It takes like like if you watch the movies, like 8.5 hours. It's a really long journey. It's actually over a year in their time. But he takes this long journey through all kinds of perils and tests and trials and temptations and all this kind of stuff. But there's this one particular line that I remember that stuck out to me. And it's somewhat in the movie, but it's more pronounced in the book. And Frodo says this, realizing and kind of lamenting to his friend the wizard Gandalf. Frodo talks about this. He says, "I wish it need not have happened in my time." So essentially what he's saying is that, man, I wish I wasn't around for this. I wish I wasn't around for this. Why couldn't it have happened to somebody else? Why didn't this take place, in some other time or some other area? I wish it need not have happened in my time. I think that's a common theme that we're hearing today with all the stuff that's going on, and with of course the illness, with the economy, with all of that stuff, with all the junk that's going on. I think there are a lot of people thinking, man, I wish this didn't happen in my time. Because these are crazy times. But then his friend Gandalf, who was a wise person, he responds this way. He says, "So do I, and so do all who live to see such times. But that's not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us." And I think those are such great words to remind us, especially for today. I wish it never happened. I wish this virus never originated. There are probably lots of things that we think wish never ever happened, but it did, and here we are. And so, what are we going to do? What do we do with that? How do we deal with that? How do we walk through it? Well, one of my life verses that I hold to is Hebrews 12, 1 and 2. And the first part, verse 1, is kind of giving us some commands, some decrees. Strip off everything that hinders, run with perseverance, keep your eyes, all that. But verse 2 is really the crux of it, where it talks about keeping your eyes fixed on the author, the perfecter of your faith. I think that's essential. As these thoughts run through our head, man, I wish this didn't happen in our time. I wish this was a different time. And I agree with you. But here we are. We're in it. And all we have to do is decide what to do with the time that's given to us. And I think one of the best ways to walk through that is to keep our eyes fixed and focused on Him, the author, the perfecter. It's easy to let our eyes drift. It's easy to, if you've ever gone to a shooting range, you have your lane with your target in front of you, but it's easy to let your eyes drift and wander and look at what other people are doing and how they are shooting. Are they hitting the target? Are they missing the target? Oh, wow, that was awful. All this stuff. I think we're called as Christians, as believers, to keep our eyes fixed and focused in the direction that we're going in. So I just wanted to share that with you this morning. I hope you're having a blessed day. I hope maybe on this Saturday you get some rest, relax, understand that we are praying for you, that we are looking for opportunities to minister to one another. Be creative. Reach out to your neighbors. Check in on people. Think about folks at our church that you maybe haven't heard from or seen from. Pick up the phone, call them. If it's not out of order, go knock on a door. Care for one another, and we're going to make it through this stronger than ever. I want to remind you that community is key as we walk through all this together. And so let's do our best to maintain that community. All right, church. Love you. Appreciate you. Hope all is well. Make sure you have at least 2 or 3 of these this morning, because it's going to be needed. I need it. It's going to be a long day. So we will see you later on tonight for an update on what's going on. I just want to remind you again, church will be mobile tomorrow. So watch it via video. Don't come to the building. Doors will be locked. But know that we're praying for you, love you, and we will see you again. All right? Many blessings.